Oh, somebody keeps moving my fucking chair. Look who that is. waving me on. Fire up the Patriot machine today too, if it's got enough charge in the battery. I don't know how it's going to be. Didn't take it long to take it off a half a tank of gas, that's for sure. Yeah, it definitely needs a new set of spark plugs, so I'm gonna order me a set of those, some brand new E3 plugs, and put in this bitch. There we go. And there we go. I got the neighbors driving around out here now. I must did a little bit of too much of disturbing the peace. Wow. As you can see, it's lopsided, sitting and the fucking tire's still flat up here. I'm not going to take it for a ride today. I was going to, and the hell with it. I'm not going to. Sounds good. Sounds real good. Real good. Holding at about 49 pounds of oil pressure. That's about average small block Chevy. So. Oh, go out here and bask in the goodness. Oh. Yeah, tire's still flat, so I'm not sure if there's just a hole in the fucking tire or if maybe the rim is leaking, or because it went flat through the summer. If I didn't keep an eye on it, it would go flat. So anyway, there's your cold start Sunday for you. Tomorrow I do start down here for the logistics contractor for FedEx. I start my training tomorrow. There's a few things I still haven't done as far as tasks goes for the work. So they're just going to have to walk me through it because they send my shit on that phone. I'm not versed enough in it because everything's electronic that they do. So let's see what happens with this job. My boss down here at the coal mine, he called me Friday afternoon, and he said if it doesn't work out, he says just come back and start working again. He said I'll put you right back on payroll. He said you just pick up right where we left off. He said and we'll just go from there. And I thanked him for the opportunity and thanked him for being so kind. And this guy, he's very kind, very, very kind. He's got a good heart. I'm not sure how old he is. I think he's around my age, maybe a year younger. And I did have an altercation on that job probably twice when I was there. I had a guy down there that, I don't know if he just didn't care for me at the time or what. But at first he thought I was saying things to him on the radio, and he come over and threatened me like the first day I was on the mine. And I was like, what's your problem is there, buddy? I was like, I haven't said a word on the radio all day other than good morning this morning. I said, I never said nothing else on the radio today. I said, that other guy, I said, that young kid over there, I said, he was the one running his mouth on the radio. I said, I never say anything to you. And he said, oh, no, okay then. Well, don't worry about it. And he's telling me how bad he felt and everything. I was like, well, that's fine. I said, no worries. I said, no harm done here. I said, we'll just keep on going. And then here about 2 months ago, maybe, I was just, having fun. What the fuck? Do I have squirrels in here again? Or is that the wind? Anyway, I was making fun. Maybe I pushed the boundary a little too far. Maybe I don't know. But he was fucking irate. He come after me. He climbed up on the side of my truck with the door open, grabbed a hold of me. He was gonna try to drag me out of the truck. And I said, I don't think you realize the weight of your situation. What the fuck are you talking about? And I said, I outweigh you for one. So even though you're a lot taller than I am, I outweigh you. I said, you're not going to drag me out of this seat. I weigh 370 pounds. You're not going to drag me out of there. Oh, hell, I was probably more then. I was probably closer to 400, probably at that time. But I said, just leave me alone. Back in your thing, he balled his fist up in my shirt and drew his fist back, was going to punch me. And I was like, well, I thought, oh boy, here we go. And I talked him out of that because, I didn't want to lose my job. I didn't want to lose my job for fighting on the coal strip. So I was like, fuck it. I thought, I hope he don't hit me, because then when somebody hits me, then I want them. Then I want to fight then. But I really don't like to fight. I'm not a fighter. I like trying to get along with everybody. I do get carried away sometimes with my crude humor, because that's just how I am. And I tend to aggravate folks, especially women. I can really aggravate the shit out of them real bad. I've had a lot of practice because, grew up with 3 of them in the house. So, but anyway, later on, things blew over, things cooled off. We got to talking to each other again, and everything was cool. So I'm not going to hold nothing against the guy. I never went around and spread rumors or nothing like that. I thought if I do that, because the coal mining community is pretty close. We all pretty much know each other around here, except for the deep miners. We don't really associate with the deep miners. We're surface miners. We don't really associate much with the deep miners unless one comes to work with us on the surface mine. But that's like their own little group, because they have so much more shit to worry about than what we do. Because we're on the surface, we have to worry about high walls falling in on us, backing over the spoil piles. We have to worry about getting upsetting equipment, shit like that, fires. Which on the old job I used to work on before I came to this other guy, the old rock truck I used to run, the one I have a couple videos on, a hydraulic hose busted on it, and hydraulic oil went all over hot exhaust on the truck and engulfed it in flames. And one of my real good friends was running my former 777F model truck. He narrowly escaped with just a little bit of singed hair on his head. He got his shit and got the fuck down out of there. And they just watched it burn. And actually from the job I was working on, I could see it. I could see right down there onto that mine, because we're up on the mountain. And I could see all this black smoke. And I was like, man, something's on fire. Because it didn't look like they had put a shot off to blast for more coal, because there's usually more dust than that, and it's like more like a grayish looking dust than a black smoke. This stuff was black. And then I got to looking closer, took my phone and put it up there, and I zoomed in on it with the camera, and it was flames, high flames. They said that there wasn't a stitch of yellow paint left on that thing when it was done burning. It just burnt the whole thing completely up. All that's there is the scorched steel that's left. The tires all burned up on it. They got it put out before, I guess, any of the diesel fuel caught. But all the hydraulic oil burned. That stuff burns. You wouldn't believe it, but well, The exhaust on a big rock truck like that's thousands of degrees, way hotter than what the exhaust on a, V8 engine in a car or truck can get. And plus it's diesel, and you got glow plugs, you got diesel fuel burns hotter than gasoline. It has a higher smoke point than gasoline does. Because gasoline, you're burning the fumes from the liquid that are coming off the liquid. Diesel fuel, you're burning the fuel, and it's oily and it's heavy, just like kerosene. Kerosene, same deal. Kerosene's just a little bit thinner, but you can mix it with diesel to thin it up a little bit in the wintertime to keep it from gelling up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Just depends. But yeah, diesel fuel, it won't go up in a spark. That's why they have glow plugs that have a steady high heat. If you ever take a glow plug out of a box and hook it up to a battery, that thing will get like cherry red. And that's how it stays. And then the injectors blow that diesel fuel on those, and that's how it ignites. And, it's funny because if you watch the movie Terminator 2, where Schwarzenegger has little John Connor, little squealy little bitch John Connor, on his Harley, and he's turning around, flipping the lever action shotgun and shooting at the big Kenworth flat nose cab over tow truck that the T-1000, the liquid metal Terminator's driving, coming after him. And he shoots his tire out, and then he runs up on that fucking divider, smashes the truck after that, the roof gets ripped off and stuff. Smashes the truck, and then it's just sitting there, and the tank is busted, and the diesel fuel's rolling out, and you see a battery cable hanging down. And all of a sudden you see a spark from the battery cable, and the diesel ignites and explodes. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Unless there was gasoline in that tank, that thing would have never fucking caught on fire. If you can get a flame like a cigarette, if you have a lit cigarette and you can get it past the fumes of gasoline, you can put it out. The cigarette will go out in the liquid. Like diesel fuel, you can take a cigarette and just slowly put it down and put it in the diesel fuel and put it out. It will not catch on nothing on fire. It's not hot enough. That's just how it is. So James Cameron, if you wrote that, you ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself, because I'm questioning your integrity. But anyway, anyhow, my old boss said I could just come back if I wanted to if I didn't like this job coming up. I'm going to give this a shot and see how it works out. It is more money, but more money isn't always everything. What you got to think of is your mental health when you start a new job like that. So I've never played a delivery driver before. I've never, took packages up onto somebody's doorstep and scan them and walk back to the truck. And you got to obey every little speed limit with the truck. You got to obey every little traffic sign and signal. I mean, I do that anyway. I use turn signals. I use my mirrors. I mean, I've drove vehicles that are 10 times the size of what they want me to drive for them, which is a big, long step van. I mean, it's going to be bigger than a lot of the stuff that, is around you on, 2-lane back roads, because that's where I'm going to be mostly, is on 2-lane back roads. And I have to watch the shoulders of those roads, because that vehicle's going to be like 10,000 pounds or more. It's not going to be 26,000 pounds, but 10,000 to probably 13 to 15,000 pounds maybe loaded. And you got to be careful on the sides of the roads. On the back roads around here, there's no shoulder. And if you get off the blacktop, especially this time of year when the ground's real soft because of all the snow melt and the rain we've had, and just the ground is just soft this time of year, so it's it's kind of hard getting around, especially on the coal strip. It's really hard to get around. But anyhow, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens with all this, because I'm not fond of job jumping. I'm too old for that shit now. When I was a young man, it didn't bother me because I had lots of time. And, you know, I've lived paycheck to paycheck for a long time. And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. And of course, all of you, any of you that know who I am or whatever, that my situation at home is deteriorated here with my spouse, so we are going to go ahead and get the papers for, you know, the divorce proceedings. That sucks. I hate that. Yeah, that's just the wind doing that shit. Anyway, I'm not too fond of this, but we haven't done anything, you know, with each other for like 11 years or so. And just staying together because it was a good arrangement. It was, and for, you know, my young daughter, staying together for her. That's the main reason. So I can't sit around here and wait forever, and there's no, you know, bringing what we had back. That was in the past. There's no going back there to that. You can't do it, so it's not going to happen. So this is it. And then other life adjustments are going to come. I'll ultimately probably just be here by myself. I probably won't. I'm definitely not moving out because I live on my dad's property here. And she has moved on. And which, you know, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it, because what are we going to do but sit here and, you know, argue and fight and fuss over things? Because, you know, you know as well as I do, any of you guys out there, because I don't have any women viewers on this fucking channel. It's like absolutely zero women views, because women aren't into cars. Most of them aren't, put it that way. So I wanted to do this, and not on a real sour note. I just wanted to end things as calmly as possible. The less arguing and the more communicating we can do will help this along further, and it'll get out of the way quick. After the papers are signed, if we all agree in this state things are different, you can speed this process along. If you since we've been pretty much apart for so many years, I looked it up. The rules say, and if you agree on everything, you can do this without a lawyer. So you won't have to blow fucking $12,000. So it's going to be, you know, a 50-50 thing. So if everything's agreed upon, you sign the papers, you both sign it, then it's 3 months of being separated alone, you know, with neither of you not living together, put it that way. Because pretty well, right now we're just like, it's a separated thing, but still under the same roof thing. So, but what's happening is when, you know, that time comes, the papers will be signed when she decides to leave or get her own place or whatever. Holy shit. Fucking wind just constantly blows here in fucking Garrett County. It's fucking insane. I gotta shut my door. That's the problem. I'm letting wind in here. But anyway, After she finds her own place to go, the papers will be signed. Then it's a 3-month period of separation. Then after that, it's final. It's done then. I don't know if you get papers in the mail or your email or whatever. I don't know how this works. I've never done this before. I don't fucking know. But I will be a lot happier that way, and things will just get better. And there's not going to be any denied visitation between either of us. So everything's going to be good. Get this all squared away and done with. My main problem is just getting all the bills and stuff into my name and getting everything on track that way. Because I'm going to have to separate the cell phone, separate the car insurance. I'm going to have to start paying the electric bill myself. Which I got a new bill, by the way, and it's like $200 and some, which is fucking amazing compared to what it has been. Well, of course, you know, when you're delinquent since Thanksgiving, you know, my last bill was, you know, $2,100 was my last bill that I used our tax money to pay this bill. And, plus the electric company around here does an estimate all the time, which is bullshit. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. The President of the United States needs to step in and get a hold of these companies and say, look, if you're going to do this, you know, you're going to be sorry. The energy cost is out of control, for one. Electricity around here is just, everybody's bill is going up. They just started with me at first, because when I was paying mine every single month, through the winter months, my bill each month was like anywhere from $300 to $500. And I have 100 amp service here. I don't have that much. My parents, they have like 200 and some amp service. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I know it's in the twos. So, you know, and their bills were a quarter of what mine are. And they have a 2-story, well, they have 3 stories down there that they're heating and using electricity on. Plus, he's got his garage on his. All I have is a trailer in this garage. In the garage, I'm not in that much. I'm in the house more than anything else. The only thing that runs over here, I have 2 infrared heaters and I have these refrigerators, which I'm going to be going shy on one after all this is finalized. I'm going to get rid of this one refrigerator. I'm going to give it to somebody. It was given to me. I don't know. So $50 maybe. I don't know. But anyhow, I'm going to get it out of here. And then I'll have this old yellow. What is that? It's a Kenmore from the 80s. So, and it is wonderful. It is such a good refrigerator. I paid $50 for it. It's a pretty good size. I measured it up. It'll fit in my house if I need it. But and plus I have an old deep freeze from the 70s over here. My parents bought back before I was born. And it's still going strong. There's never been any issues with it. Every once in a while you're supposed to defrost them. I'll be doing that because mine has a bunch of food in it that it's been in there for like a fucking decade and I haven't used. So I got a bunch of freezer burnt meat in there that needs to come out. Some old shit. So anyway, I just figured I would share that with my subscribers, and y'all been awesome. But that's the main reason I haven't really been making videos lately. It's just, you know, when you're depressed and because of the way things are going in your life and you just don't feel like doing anything. So I've been trying to push myself to come back in here and start pumping iron again because I'm going to need that with this job. This job is physical. I've lost some weight here so far. I've lost 30 couple pounds. And my joints feel so much better already. My feet don't hurt as bad as what they were. I think I'll be able to, as I go, plus I only eat once a day. And plus as I go, I'll get exercise instead of just sitting. I sit all day long on this other job. I sit in a piece of equipment all day long, only getting out to piss every couple hours. And that hurts you. That's as bad as smoking. It's all, it is. It's as bad as smoking because your joints are basically getting fucking flat spots in them. You're not moving around. You're just getting flopped the fuck around in a piece of equipment. You're not really walking or standing or anything like that, but like standing for long periods of time and sitting for long periods of time are bad. You have to have there's an equilibrium there. There's a happy medium there somewhere where, if you sit down a little bit, which this job would be perfect because you go to somebody's house, you get to deliver a package, and you get out of the truck with the package, you walk to where it needs put, you put it on the porch, do what you got to do, walk back to the truck, move on to the next stop. That's how it's going to be. And no, I'm not going to be stopping for lunch either. I'm going to be working straight through like I do in the mine so I can get the truck unloaded. They told me, they said, when you unload that truck is when you're done for the day. After the truck's unloaded, that's it. You're done after that. Then you go home. And you still get paid your money. No matter what. You don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by the day. And it's the same rate every day. And they raise it over time. You do good. You get 401k, you get profit sharing, you get health, optical, dental, insurances, and all that good stuff. So right now I have the same shit where I'm at. But the difference between here and there is the health insurance where I'm at right now is free. And it's Blue Cross Blue Shield. The trouble is the deductible is fucking insane. That's the thing. That's the bad part. See, they run one up your ass no matter what on health insurance in this country. Because if your employer is providing it for you and you don't have to pay nothing, well, when you go to the fucking doctor, you're going to have a hell of a fucking copay. I think my fucking copay was like $50 or something like that. Each doctor visit. And then you pay that for so much, and if you go so many times, then it's free. Then you don't have to pay no more. You got to pay a certain amount each year on your deductible, when you go to the doctor. So that's how that bullshit works. And then, like the dental I have to pay out of my check, and the optical has to pay out of my check. And what that is that's a ripoff too, because the dentist part only pays for cleanings. It doesn't pay for fillings. It doesn't pay for extractions. It don't pay for shit after the fucking cleaning. It don't pay for nothing. And then they sock it to you. Oh, let's give you some fluoride. Fuck you. Don't put that poison in my mouth. I don't want it. So anyhow, then like the optical, I think it's like $300 they give you. Then you pay the rest. And a lot of times, by the time they give all that bullshit they put on your lenses, like the non-glare, the scratch resistance, the transition lenses, and then the lightweight polycarbonate plastic. Because if you just go with glass, actual glass, Jesus Christ, I'd look like I was staring out the bottom of 2 Coke bottles, probably, because my eyes aren't real good. They're actually they're actually changing. I'm starting not to be able to see close up, and I'm starting to be able to see further away. And it's still a blur far away, but it's getting better now. I can't drive at night without my glasses, but if I had to drive throughout the day without them, I could. I probably could. To get by, I could, but not at night. Not at night. I tried it. Nope. Now the glasses, I can't see close up with the glasses on. I have to take them off to read fine print. I can read the tiniest fucking print without my glasses on. And they put bifocals in my last pair, and I couldn't see a fucking thing out the bottom of those bastards. I was high-stepping around because I couldn't tell how close the ground was to my step. I had no, what do they call that? I forget what they call that, but I couldn't see too good, you know, as far as like looking down. And it's like if I was on a rock truck trying to climb down the ladder off the bumper, I didn't know how close the ground was to the ladder on the bumper of the truck. And I would never get off of it because I couldn't judge that distance because I couldn't see it. But without the bifocals, without the bifocals, it's better for me. I can judge the depth. I can actually see it. But as far as that goes with the glasses on, I can see the gauges in my car. I can see them with my glasses off. But like right now, everything's kind of a blur right now. If I look further than this, like when I zoom in like this to my camera, everything's clear. I can see everything. But when I back up about this distance here, everything starts getting fuzzy. But anyway, that's off the subject here. But anyway, everybody, summer's on its fucking way, thank Christ. Of course, car show season will be picking back up. And I'm going to probably inevitably be working 6 days a week. So I don't know how many of them car shows I want to get to attend working this job. The job, I have to be down there every day at 7:30, which, you know, is an hour and a half later than what I have to be on the mine. I always had to be on the mine at 6 or a little bit before. But I have to be down there at 7:30 in order to, like, clock in on my my profile on my site for the company. Then you got to clock out at the end of the day, which you just log off your stuff at the end of the day. And then I have to give them direct deposit information, all that stuff. I'm going to start using my new account for direct deposit. Because right now, the guy I work for now, he does a paper check every week, which I like that. That's a little old-fashioned for me. I enjoy that. The only thing is, though, you got to fuck with the bank. You got to deal with those dicks, and that can get frustrating. Because those motherfuckers there, they, you know, that's when they say they have banker's hours. That's what they mean. They have fucking banker's hours. So, all right, everybody. That's enough about that bullshit. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hope you liked all that shit. A little bit of Chevelle fucking performance today. I've been itching to get it out. I've been itching, waiting for a nice day. Yesterday wasn't quite nice enough. It was kind of chilly out. And plus they had all their shamrock shuffles and pub crawls and all that stuff for St. Patty's Day. I never attended this year. I did a little bit last year, but it was the weekend. Well, it was on the weekend, and the weekend after St. Patrick's Day, they had stuff. I don't know if it's going to be that way this weekend or what, but anyway. Because I think St. Patty's Day is on Tuesday or Wednesday. This coming up here this week, coming. Whatever. Anyway, I didn't do anything last night. I just I took a ride in the cop car. Well, first I hosed all the mud off the Mercury, brought it back home, jumped in the cop car, took a little drive, which I need to go down the road and get a couple of drinks for my lunch tomorrow and for all week. And need to get some milk. I'm out of milk. I keep forgetting to get it. But anyway, that's what I have going on. So everybody, I'll see you all on the fucking next one.